This is Realm Royale on PlayStation 4. It is a free-to-play battle royale title, kind of based on the Paladins sort of universe. Carries similar style and look and feel, but in a battle royale situation. It does do some things differently from other battle royale titles, but we're going to go into that in a sec here. So there's a full battle pass, obviously, in this kind of thing. The armory, where you can kind of customize your look. There's the 4 different classes that are available to play as when you get into the game. There's obviously a full shop where you can get bundles and decorative cosmetic items and everything for your characters. Cool, so we're going to jump in here to play. We've got a couple different options. There's squad, where you can be a team of up to 4. There's solo, where you're individuals, and there's duos, where you're in groups of 2. So we're going to jump into squads, and we're going to get going. So it does matchmake quite fast. Free-to-play game, it's quite expected. You play in games of 100 players dropping down and battling it out, and it carries a bit of a fantasy setting to it, which is interesting. So there are a couple different classes to choose from. I'm going to go with the mage because I like the ability to soar, but each one kind of brings something different to the table. We get a full load of the map. It renders quite well. As you can see, very distinct biomes. We have a snow area, desert, sort of mystical. I like to land in Lumberfall, as I find that's a good central point, and usually where the basically the circle sort of seems to really push around, or it's close to where the circle ends up. So it's a very generic sort of battle royale title. It does bring a fantasy setting to it, which is kind of interesting, and it does change some things up that you'll see while we're playing. You still have like guns and sort of weapons to shoot with, but they're more like magical staffs, and you do like a superhero landing when you come in, which is kind of neat, and the skills are sort of different too. So as you can see, the movement and the style sort of looks like Paladins if you're familiar with that game, which is actually quite great. I do really like that healing totem epic roll. So yeah, you can die pretty quick. You have to be careful about your abilities and your health, but when you do die, you become a chicken, so you can actually be revived, or if you also die, you can be revived later on in the forge. So the forge is where you create items that I totally forgot about using because I could have been recycling stuff at this point, but you'll see what I mean. I got a shotgun, take that. There's different rarity items to collect too.
Fixing my armor.
An important part of gameplay is using the shields and monitoring your health. This is available through potions. Very simple to understand. If you want to move faster, they have a mount that you can summon. The game does seem to have a little bit more pop-in on the PlayStation version in terms of the grass, but for the most part, you actually get a pretty good render draw distance in the game, which is great because, you need to be able to snipe, using those kind of weapons, or shoot at people from a long distance, as that can be important. Most of the game is about going around looting. So this is a net. We can, basically disenchant or recycle this particular item. You can do this with all items that you gather from killing people or from chests. And that'll give you shards. You see the shards in the bottom left corner, plus chicken lives. And basically, these shards are what you use to forge items, which we'll do in a bit once I collect more. So you definitely want to use your mount as you're moving around outside the map, but once you get indoors, it does turn off. You can't mount inside a building, sadly. A cool mechanic is the fact that you can vault through windows if they get in the way. Kind of cool. And yeah, it really does have that sort of sci-fi fantasy sort of setting. Very colorful, very distinct in style. I think it's kind of cool. And you can open up chests that your teammates have opened up. So like the chests are kind of individual to a degree, if that makes sense. Basically, they're always available if you haven't opened them yourself. Pretty cool. And you get different types of chests too. There's not a whole lot, but there's the basic, and then there's, as you can see, the sort of potions chests where you can get distinctly potions if you want to use those. Looking at the abilities there, I want something better than the totem. I consider it absolutely useless. You see guys on my team are currently crafting right now. But yeah, this throws down a sort of healing thing. And that's terrible too. Healing shot, no thank you. But yeah, it's just about getting down there like every other battle royale. Looting. Oh, there's passive perks you can get too. They're kind of a big deal. They help out quite a bit, can make a big difference. Looking at the HUD, you can see a distinct look at your map. Very simply, in the top right corner, you can see the time. Seeing how the circle will push everyone inwards. It's like a magical thing. Kills you if you're outside of it. Very typical for the genre, nothing special. You see how many players are available. Bottom right has all my guns and my options. You see easy pulling up the map and stuff like that. And the mount. Bottom left, you can see the potions, how many I have. Again, the chickens and the shards. And my passive perks. Top left is your team. This seems to be a very common game for people with mics, so I'd actually plug in a stupid PlayStation microphone so I didn't have to hear people. But yeah, it's very important to constantly be recycling items. Usually I'd make potions, but I'm going to save up a bit for some other items because I think they are helpful. I'm going to fly over here because there's usually a lot of chests to find. But yeah, it's very typical. You go in, you've got your guns, your very rarities, you want better guns and weapons. But it does have that fantasy element to it that does make it stand out a bit more from just the typical Battle Royale title. I mean, I really don't find it very different. I mean, when you jump in here, you'll be like, okay, I know what I'm doing, assuming you've played Fortnite or anything else like that. Being free to play, it's obviously going to attract a lot of players, and it's not bad. I played quite a bit of this, getting achievements on the Xbox version, and yeah, it wasn't a terrible time at all. And I think it's pretty good for groups. I mean, you can play alone, obviously, and matchmake with people, the different game modes that are present. It just doesn't really do anything too different. I mean, it's the same formula, you know, that's kind of been beaten to death on, like, every single franchise has done something like this. And it does, you know, it's a little bit different. I definitely say that because of the fantasy elements to it. It does make it a little bit unique. Yeah. I mean, it's alright. It runs pretty well, which I think is nice. So we're going to have to pick a new spot to go to. I usually like to go to the fungal forest, but that doesn't seem to be where the thing is landing, so I think we're going to head over to the valley. The fungal forest is really cool because it's a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. It's all like mushrooms and purplish. It's very, very cool looking. So go to the forge. I don't have enough. Oh, I do. Okay, good. So we can get things more intense, like legendary, the resurrection, so you can revive people, and that kind of keeps people in the game. So if you die, you're not out. You can sit around, and people can actually bring you back later on, which is really a game changer in the late game. Craft a unique rune. I need a good epic weapon. So you can craft one item, one of each of these slots per forge that you go to. So you can craft a weapon, and then you can't craft another weapon at this forge, but you can go to another forge and craft another one. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, very distinct environments and looks. It does kind of remind me of Paladins. I feel like they took like parts of the maps and at least threw them in here, which is fine. Doesn't bother me at all. They've got some cool characters. I wish there was more
the elements gifted me this power.
Basically kind of customization, if that makes sense. Just like the look of them. Like, I mean, there's the cosmetic outfits, but that's really as far as it goes. You are still like these distinct heroes. I think the classes do change things up a little bit, but they don't have a huge factor on what goes on. It's mostly just your starting ability, and which can be crucial when you're, you know, dropping down into the world. Usually there's a lot more people that spawn, well, not spawn, but like drop into this area, so it's a little bit more quiet than it normally would be. Proximity mine. Whew, I quite like that one, but I'm gonna stick with the fire this time. But yeah, teamwork is essential here, and it can get pretty intense towards the end game, which is neat. I don't know why these guys aren't recycling. Gotta get those shards up. I also really like to use the rifle in this game. See, it's very much a typical shooter title, you know, battle royale style, because you are just with guns, but they just layer something a little bit different on it. I think they've got a clean UI going for it, and a game that actually does run well. Beautiful backdrop, even though it is kind of just like a painting. But yeah, cool settings, a lot of environments and different clear chiseled out areas. And it does seem to run really well, which is nice, like I mentioned. Oh, and you do not need PlayStation Plus at this current point for it, which is nice. So you can just jump on it. You don't need the membership thing. Oh, it really wants me to have that proximity. Yeah, that's how I'm jumping into this one. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, this is the base PlayStation 4. I don't know if there's any sort of pro upgrades, and I don't really care. Rare SMG. Use a shotgun, I think. We're a bit behind on the teammates. I would like the rifle, though. I do find that to be a huge advantage. The chicken mechanic, I think, makes this stand out a bit more than the other titles, because it has that setting, but not everyone wants to stay around. It really depends on how focused you are on a team. I mean, if you're playing with friends, it's great though, because then you can actually come back, because a lot of times you play PUBG and you're like, you know, you're watching your friends play and you're like, ah, I wish I could, you know, jump back in. But that's, you know, that doesn't really work for that game. But here it's kind of like, oh, okay, you still have that passive chance of being brought back. And it is a big game changer, but at the same time it's balanced, because everyone can do it, right? Well, it looks like there's some combat going on. And there's kind of commands, which is left on the, I don't know what you got call it, D-pad in this.
Enemy spotted.
You want to clean up your chickens, because there's a countdown timer where they can actually come back by themselves. They don't even need help.
With this artifact, none shall be my equal.
Yeah, pretty good. Oh, I got an achievement there. Cool. And both of our guys are dead, so that's not good. I don't know where they died from. Probably all these guys in that house. I'm trying to be cautious of. Looks like he got away, so he got to respawn there. These staffs are pretty crazy for damage.
No, they're not gonna make it.
But yeah, you can shoot from a pretty far distance and actually do damage. It's great. There's no real like ammo, but you do have an allotment of how like often you can actually, you know, shoot. Trying to work with my one teammate here. I think I'm gonna go to the forge and see if I can get a resurrection going. I think I have enough tokens for that. But it doesn't really matter because everybody on our team already left. Yeah, this is not a good situation for me. But this is some of the intense battles you can expect. See, I chicken-fied that guy.
Fixing my armor.
I'm gonna finish your ass off, man.
Take cover.
Or am I? Ooh. Yeah, I'm kind of like overwhelmed here by enemies. And my teammate isn't really helping. Oh crap. See, I'm in chicken mode now. I'm gonna try to run away and survive in order to revive myself, but this is not a good situation for me because there's a whole team there. But I thought I did pretty well there considering I was extremely outnumbered. Yeah, I guess this guy's kind of doing his own thing too, right? But it would have been helpful to get a hand over here. Yeah, it seems like the ring's really closing down. I think they're gonna die soon, so I'm just gonna watch them kind of play here. But you do get a cool little neat look at sort of the particle effects and stuff going on. I think that's kind of cool how they added all these little like magical elements to it. It does make it look like a very distinct and different game, right? Alright, we're gonna pick the hunter class this time in order to mix it up a bit. I was having some real problems trying to get into another match. One time it went into like an empty lobby where it was locked and you couldn't quit. Another time it just straight up froze. So there's definitely some problems present on the PlayStation build of this, it seems. But yeah, we've got a new squad and we're gonna jump in here. Alright, so we're getting ready to jump in. Hopefully we do well, or not. I don't know how much runtime I really need, because this is just going to be a mess to edit, quite honestly, due to the disconnection issues and stuff. So you can see it comes along on the line. Again, it's very, very typical. I mean, doesn't really do too much differently. I do have fun playing it again. I don't know specifically mention that. I do have a good time with this one. Just because I played it so much, you get used to it, and it's like, okay, it does the Battle Royale. It does the genre justice, and it works. Drop down here and hopefully get something better. Wow, there are, like, literally no chests here. See, that can be a big game difference too, right? Is depending on whether or not you get chests, because the locations do tend to change. To get a bit of a teleporter there. I think we're gonna have to go to one of the buildings over here or something to get some better items. I want to be caught in a firefight with this stuff. Smoke screen. Okay, for now, I guess. I don't really want to go head-to-head with them because I don't know what kind of items they have compared to what I have, because I just saw them opening chests. But yeah, they got a good selection of sort of abilities in this one. Like I kind of mentioned with the fire there and the mines, the proximity mines, which I really like using. But the smoke screen's kind of neat, and it's really about finding what you know, getting comfortable with the various items. That guy's just running towards me and he's not dying yet. There we go. Got that out for the assault rifle. And take all these tokens, because I actually killed this person, so screw y'all. Seriously. This is kind of good. Again, though, rifle is like my favorite kind of weapon to use, especially when you get like a higher tier for it. Healing totem. Yeah, I'd rather have that. We'll do the proximity because I think that's very helpful. So I want to get to crafting a weapon. As you can see, the circle is kind of below us, so we're going to go to the fungal forest later as the area moves in. I really wish I would have kept my roll ability because I like that a lot more, but whatever. Firebomb. We're going to try the proximity this time. I do find it very helpful.
Fixing my armor.
Again, armor potions, very important. Leap an incredible distance. Yeah, I'd rather have that just for quick. It's mostly for getting away. That's what I find these abilities helpful for. But that's kind of what makes the classes a little less distinct, is the fact that anyone can get like the basic abilities, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. It doesn't make them special at all. Oh, that was a waste of that. Looks like everybody's chilling at the forge. I'm gonna get in there and get a good weapon going. Lots of time until the ring closes in. An epic weapon. And maybe some more armor potions. I always like to have armor potions on hand. Another neat aspect is that enemy players can actually see you forging. So it's a good idea once you start forging to actually get to a higher point, because, you know, it's kind of a big indicator that, oh, somebody's building something here, and then they, you know. That guy steal my armor things. The longbow.
And
Kind of don't like it.
the
No, you
hunt
didn't. Okay,
really
good.
begins.
So we're going to get riding. I'm gonna go meet up with everybody over there and get to the next forge area, which is actually in the mushroom area, which is why we kind of followed this plot line of starting in Lumberfall and then going to the fungal forest. At least I do. Lots of verticality and unique biomes in this one, like we mentioned, the desert and everything like that. But there are distinct actual landmarks too. Like there's a giant skull carcass kind of thing. You can see it on the map in the bottom left corner there near the Lost Forge. Pretty cool. A few different sort of things like that across the map, just so you get an idea further of where you're going. I'm kind of stuck there. Nice, nice. So people are collecting stuff. I want to get more towards where the forge is. I like to make a better item. Like, the bow's good, but it's kind of like, you know, it's sort of hard to shoot, and it's not as effective as like a staff where you can rapid fire it and still get that intense damage. I mean, the bow, obviously, with the hold down, you're going to get a really strong hit, but it's just better to have something I can shoot faster. It just plays into more my style of Sprackness. So a good perk, that's good. Perks are insanely helpful. If you have the extra shards, definitely get them. But prioritize weapons, because that's what makes the difference in this life or death thing. Oh, that's lovely. I think the forge is in here. I'll have to be careful in case other people are nearby. Players remaining. People are dying like crazy. 50% headshot damage. Woo!
Fixing my armor.
Keep those shields up. You guys are seriously not shooting at this guy. Go finish him off. Yep. I hope people don't steal my cool ass gun.
Oh, now the hunt really begins.
So this is an even better version of what I had, but you know, this is gonna be good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna wreck stuff up with this. Again, it's important to use the signals.
Enemy spotted. Under fire.
Wow, that was a good shot.
Armoring up. We got one of us.
I hope my teammates understand that people are going to be attacking us soon. Everybody's closing in on here.
Healing them.
Yeah, this is not going well. I don't think we're gonna make it, but I think that's good for my time, anyways, to generally get the right video length going on here. And yeah, just watch this guy quickly die. That's basically the gist